Purdue was a number 1 seed as?
Kirk Cousins look like J.C. Penney.
Looks like his back, Jack. It's bracket time, so make a chart. Does Jeff Van Gundy look just like the Queen of Hearts? Does Adam Silver look like a torpedo bat? Let's get Mark Sadness back on track. Looks like his back, Jack. When the donuts are in front of you, does Andy Reid say, don't mind if I do? Adam Silver looks like a Q-tip thing, or frying a bag of onion rings. When Timmy laughs until he hacks, that's how you know that looks like his back, Jack. Let me hear you say, looks like his back, Jack. Let's keep on doing it every year. So Adnan Burke says, Mr. Bond, welcome to Tangier. Jeff Fisher looks like shotgunning beers at a NASCAR track. If you say this game's the best, I'll say it's a gag. Looks like his back, Jack.
Northwestern is gone from the tournament.
Jim Harbaugh looks like a casket salesman.
Fairleigh Dickinson, 16 seed, rep by?
Mike McDaniel looked like a college student on a full-ride scholarship for esports.
What a run.
Looks like his back, Jack.
Oh, we got a lot to get to today. It is a Friday. You guys know how we do here on a Friday. Let's say hello to Dave Damashek out there on the West Coast. Hello, Dave.
Yo, what's happening, fellas?
We got a lot of tournament talk. We had madness already. We didn't even get through half the day yesterday, and the madness was already in full gear. But we start with last night. We start with last night at Kaseya Center. Jeremy Taché just on LeBron's tip the entire night. I mean, my God. Like, the Heat need a win, all right? They're trying to avoid a losing streak here. The Heat lose last night to the Lakers. They are 0-3 so far in this very pivotal 7-game stretch. And, Jeremy, you're just on LeBron's tip the entire night. My goodness.
Yeah, he did again.
I mean, have a little bit of character as a Heat fan.
I'm sorry for experiencing joy.
Come on. Experiencing joy. You're not 4
He
years
lost.
You're not 4 years old. You remember LeBron when he played for the Heat? Come on.
I was 15 years old when LeBron made the decision. I was at a sports bar in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I was watching the decision on a TV with no volume. There's closed captioning. And I'm with my brother who's 9 years old. And we look at the TV and we say, South Beach. And sprinted through this sports bar back to the table where our parents were sitting. We got LeBron James. So pardon me if at 30, when I got to be on the first broadcast I've been on where he was playing in the game, where he tied the record for the most games played, if I thought that was pretty cool.
Are we sure that LeBron is not going to play for the Lakers next year? Like what? Like why would the Lakers not want LeBron to be their third best player? Because that's what he is.
Yeah, but the problem is that he's their third best player and also their ninth best defender. So just because they've won 11 in a row doesn't mean that they still don't have the
I think
defensive
it's 8
deficiencies.
in a row, but yeah.
8. I thought they won 10 out of the last 11. This would make it 11 in the last 12.
Okay, but you said 11 in a row. That's not 11 in a row.
Whatever. Semantics. You want to semantics with me?
That's not semantics. It's just right or wrong.
No, I'm anti-semantics.
That's not how semantics work.
The point being, Jonathan Zaslow, is that LeBron is still 41 years old, and he still has his deficiencies in areas that the Lakers need to be better at. And just because he's been great the last couple of games doesn't mean that all of a sudden next year let's just run it back.
I gotta be a grown up here, Mike. You know, I spent a lot of time on the show yesterday saying I can't see a scenario where LeBron plays. And it's a second day of a back-to-back. He did my elbow hurts, so it gives him an out that he doesn't have to play tonight. And then in the middle of the day yesterday, he was listed. Doncic, and Austin Reeves were all listed as questionable, which to me meant they were not going to play.
We all thought they weren't going to play.
Like, wouldn't that be what you think questionable means?
Yeah. Well, logic and just following the NBA and how stars handle this stretch of games where it's congested, we all anticipated, and also LeBron's proclivity to purposefully skip out on Miami games. We all expected LeBron to not play. I came away so impressed with the LA Lakers last night. They're a bit of a strange team, right? It's an odd roster construction. We know that. Luka's weight has fluctuated this season about 20 pounds. He started the season skinny, got bloated. He's skinny again. There seems to be a correlation between how awesome he is and his weight. There was every reason for the Lakers to pack it in early last night. He came out pretty strong.
It looked like the Heat were going to blow him out.
It did.
Yeah,
and it looked
like,
like they're an older team, the Lakers. LeBron probably, all right, let me give this one a rest.
And they got here, by the way, because of the time, like traveling west to east, second night of back-to-back is very tough. They got here 5 a.m.
I came away so impressed with the Lakers, LeBron, and Luka. Their ability to climb back into that game and then assert their will in the second half. Luka was just unbelievable late in the fourth quarter. That's my takeaway. I have no Heat takes for you. That was just an amazing performance by a really great player.
Similar to how once Zaz traded Bam, he changed his entire season. Once Dan said that the Lakers fans were abandoning Luka, they've been the best team in the sport.
I also said I don't believe that the Lakers are going to win a playoff game.
Yeah, you did
Forget
say
playoff
that.
series.
Playoff game, you said.
They might.
A playoff game.
I think they will.
I like their chances there. But to your original question about are we sure if LeBron's not going to return to the Lakers?
Right?
He's not the man, dude. And I think everything that we've ever said on this show about LeBron is he's going to want the retirement tour. He's going to want the attention. And I don't think he's going to do that, Dave, as an ancillary piece on an LA Lakers team. He wants to be the man. I get it, what you're saying here, but I think what we have to acknowledge is, and this is one of the most unsatisfying conclusions I can come up with, but in the rolling debate of LeBron versus Michael Jordan, they're two very different human beings. And whereas Michael Jordan would never be the 1A or the number 2 option
Definitely
on a
not.
team, I think
Yeah.
we should accept the fact that LeBron might be willing to do that. And at the end of it all, what LeBron is doing at his age so far outstrips anything Jordan accomplished in the real world that I think the final scoreboard says LeBron versus Michael Jordan, it's a tie. I don't know how you would evaluate one versus the other at this point because they're so fundamentally different and the arcs of their two careers are so different. But I disagree with you, Mike Ryan. I think that LeBron is wired to play the number 2. Did you see him on the bench last night? And before you answer that, I just have to say, talk about questionable. Was that guy questionable? Here's what's questionable. The behavior of the entire arena. Your fans, Miami Heat fans, were chanting MVP at Luka. It's one thing to applaud a visiting player's performance. It's another thing to chant MVP.
Okay, hold on a second.
Humiliating.
Okay, hold on a second.
Humiliating.
Okay, hold on a second. And this is okay that you acknowledge that you noticed this and you don't actually understand what's going on there because you're out in Los Angeles. This has been going on for years here. When Luka, he plays at the Dallas Mavericks, major Slovenian contingent at these games.
That's right.
I remember, and a lot of it, because Goran Dragic played for the Heat all those years. I remember there was one game when I was still on the Heat broadcast, right? I don't know if you know that, Dave. I was on the Heat radio broadcast for 12 seasons. I'm a two-time champion broadcaster. And after one of the games, there was all the Slovenian fans who came there to see Luka. They all came downstairs to the lower level, and I would say that maybe half the lower level was completely packed with Luka fans waiting, not just waiting for him to come out after the game, but they're singing and chanting the entire time during my post-game show. They're singing and chanting. Luka finally had to come out and acknowledge everyone. He took the microphone. He was talking to all of them. So it may seem weird to you that the Heat fan is chanting Luka MVP. Major Slovenian audience when he's here.
Where was Luka playing? Who was he playing? The Miami Heat?
Yeah.
And this is where we've arrived. As Mike Ryan said, I believe it was Mike who said that a couple of minutes ago, the Heat needed a win. And the fans in the Heat's arena were chanting and cheering for the opponent.
That's
international
not
city,
what was
Dave.
happening.
Miami's an
Priority.
international city. There's people from all over
What
the
do you
place that
think
don't care
LA
about the Miami
is?
Heat.
It wasn't-
LA, please.
It wasn't Miami Heat fans doing that. It was Slovenian fans, and the Lakers are an established
Also,
brand.
LeBron fans.
I'm
by
with
the way.
Dave. Fair.
Yeah, I get if you don't have the background knowledge of all the seasons where Slovenians make at least one big field trip to Miami to support their stars. I get what he's saying, but those weren't Heat fans, Dave.
This was just an event, right? Because these people all bought tickets in advance when they saw, the Lakers are playing in Miami, which is why, going back to the fact that LeBron and Luka and Austin Reeves were questionable, I was like mortified as I walked into the arena, and at about 6 o'clock, the lower bowl is full of all of these fans wearing Luka Doncic jerseys, whether it's Mavs jerseys, whether it's Lakers jerseys. You had those, you had LeBron. They're all waiting for the warm-up. And I'm looking around, I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be such a bad example for the NBA. This is going to be a disaster. And instead, when I walk into Redick's press conference before the game and he gets asked, like, all right, are these guys going to play? It seems like a formality. And he goes, yeah, Reeves is questionable. He's a game-time decision. LeBron and Luka are in. And there was like a hush over the room. It was really cool. And it completely changed what the atmosphere felt like in there. LeBron got a nice ovation before the game. Luka, as he's exploding for a 60-point performance, which a 60-point performance, by the way, for Luka Doncic in a Lakers jersey, pretty disrespectful to Kobe Bryant. He should have missed that last free throw so that he didn't tie Kobe's record in the final game he ever played. It really is a disrespect to the legacy of a Laker great and one of the greats of this game that he would go out there in a game that was already decided in the final seconds and take a free throw to tie that record, but that's besides the point.
I do want to address what Dave said in regards to Mike's comments about LeBron wanting to be the man. I'm with Dave. I disagree with you as well, Mike. I think LeBron likes what's going on now where he's really not number 2. He's number 3. Didn't we feel like for years LeBron wanted Anthony Davis to take over and be the number 1 guy, and he never did?
Look, I think LeBron also deserves some credit because whether he asked for it or not, he is not the main guy right now, and I probably shouldn't hypothesize that LeBron doesn't like doing that when he's actively doing that. But I think it's a little bit different because Luka is a superstar, okay? I think LeBron would actually prefer that he not be the best player on his team, that he's paired with someone who is actually in their prime, who is a superstar. But in terms of star power, in terms of people knowing, that's LeBron's team. That is the face of that team. He's not the face of the Lakers right now. He's just not. He is a face of the Lakers. He might even be co-face of the Lakers. But I think that LeBron still wants the superstar treatment and the recognition from sports fans everywhere that, no, that's the guy for that franchise. He does not have that right now with the Lakers. And it goes just beyond Luka. He's with a historic franchise, and he's always going to be chasing Kobe's ghost. I think that, maybe go back to Cleveland where I'm unquestionably the man there.
I think, too, it's like legacy-wise, was he ever really accepted by L.A.? Like, it feels like he's always been chasing that. Like, the L.A., please, guys like me. Like, I know I'm not Kobe. I know I'm not Kareem. I know I'm not Magic, but I'm LeBron. And everybody's like, nah, not really.
Yeah,
I think we're good.
He did win a title, but you can't over. I don't think it was an asterisk, but you can't overlook that he didn't get to celebrate that title with the people. He didn't make that run in that arena. There is no photos of him going on top the scorer's table, lifting a trophy, celebrating with his fans. They don't have that connection with LeBron. They were just watching on TV, totally disconnected.
Did they even have a parade? Were we doing parades back then?
I think they did a parade. I think LA did like 2 parades during that thing.
Everybody was on
It was
Zoom.
one of those where they're just driving by the homes?
I mean,
driving by the
people were
computer
waving?
screens. And
we
everybody's like,
have someone based out in LA. Dave, they had a parade, right? It was like a double-decker bus situation.
Maybe it was a half a parade because, like all titles won during the COVID stretch, it is only worth half of a real title. And people want to debate that, have at it. The thing that is fascinating to me is, and Mike Ryan is kind of doing it, even though he's voicing support for LeBron while he's doing it. LeBron emerges in the in the digital age where it feels almost like he's an empty vessel where we're filling him up with what we want him to be. We have LeBron is the most underappreciated, I feel like, on some level, superstar of the last quarter century. It sounds hyperbolic and empty itself to say, but why is there such sort of disdain and arm's length appreciation for what LeBron's done? He's a 40-year-old man that he would be deferential to, like you say, a superstar is admirable stuff, right? And by the way, that's the deal he's made with the devil at this point. You want to play this late in your career and still win. You can't, by definition, be the number one option. The fact that he can accept that suggests a certain professional maturity that Michael Jordan never achieved, right?
And to clean up something that I said before, the Lakers actually had 0 title celebration with the people of LA. Even the Dodgers during lockdown did like a drive-through thing.
Oh, so they didn't do it
at Dodger Stadium. So there was 0 connection to that title. So he doesn't even have that emotion attached to his title.
So Jeremy last night, LeBron, look, triple-double, 8 of 12 from the floor, a night after he shot 90% and had 30 points. So really a terrific game from LeBron. And here was Jeremy after the game. Before the game, excuse me. This was Jeremy before the game asking Coach Spo just about LeBron's performance of late.
Spo, last night LeBron goes 13 of 14 from the field, which tied his previous record from the field, which actually started during the 27-game win streak here. What runs through your mind when you think of 41-year-old LeBron James getting to his same career high in field goal percentage in a game that he was at in his physical peak at 28?
I mean, he's giving Father Time hell.
That is a very
Why did you
unfair
talk
edit.
for so long?
Context, brother.
Also
This is
context.
a pregame conversation where we're talking about the fact.
What happened?
Why not bring this energy?
You talked for like
Jerk.
55
Dude,
seconds.
your energy's so awkward.
My energy is awkward.
Coach Spo, if you think that you're family.
It's if you think your family energy.
You guys are not going to take my joy today. I got to ask Eric Spoelstra about LeBron James as he tied the record for the most games ever played, and I could relate it back to the 27-game win streak. You're not going to take this from me.
Spoke to him
this
like
was
you
cool.
were in a library.
Yeah, it's silent in there. There's a microphone right up on me.
I mean, I did the coaches show with Eric Spoelstra every game for 12 years. I talk like a normal person.
Wow. That's in a big room.
I'm no normal person. Everyone knows Jonathan Zazo talks like a normal person.
Me. What you know about me is that I talk like a normal person.
You guys talk weird.
I texted my son after the game last night because I bought my son tickets for this game a couple of months ago. He's a huge LeBron fan. He wanted to go see LeBron and the Lakers, so I bought him tickets for his birthday a couple of months ago, right next to the Laker bench. Very expensive tickets, but knowing at the time he may not play. Like this is the way it works, you know. And of course, he did end up playing. I text my son after the game as he's on his way home, and I'm like, triple-double for LeBron, 60 points for Luka. I think you got your money's worth, dude. Like, that was the best possible. I mean, maybe it would have been better if the Heat won. I don't know. But
if you would have asked me even maybe midway through the fourth quarter when Luka already had 40-plus points, who the best player on the floor was last night, I would have said LeBron. He was in complete control of that game from the very jump in a way that was startling because he's playing on the second night of a back-to-back as a 41-year-old man. And he was, I mean, the entire night flirting with that triple-double, gets to it. I think he had 15 rebounds. He was dominant. And the thing about what has made the Lakers great over these last, what, Tony, you said 11 of 12?
Yeah, it was 11 of 12.
Said 11 in a row.
It was 8 in a row, 11 of 12.
Okay.
They lost to the Denver Nuggets somewhere in between. But again, semantics argument.
Right, and that was like by a few points.
7, yeah.
LeBron's excellence is that he's now playing completely off the ball. He is offensively cutting throughout the game, allowing Luka to be a half-court player that has vision with a guy who is intelligent, knows when to cut, has a feel for the game. He's rebounding. He's running off of rebounds so that he... Did you know LeBron James leads the NBA in fast break points? It's
a little bit of a cherry picker. Can we add a little context?
But sure. Even if you want to call it that,
on.
he's 41. To be able to cherry pick, it's spectacular. And the fact that he is willing, from an ego perspective, to go, I'm going to go off ball. I'm just going to be the guy that helps connect everything. I'm just going to be basically Draymond Green, but excellent. I've been as impressed with him watching that as I was watching him as a 28-year-old flying through the air.
All right,
I'm impressed with Tajay's take. I would just prefer him do it in the intimate voice. It would work that much
Do you
better.
know how
We
great
have,
LeBron James is? It's pretty amazing to watch him do this at this age.
All right, we got a lot going on here today. It is a Friday show. We got the tournament going on. Canes and Gators play tonight, but let's bring aboard Tommy Hutton, legendary Marlins broadcaster. Tommy Hutton stopping by the show. Tommy, great to see you. Why are you leaving us, Tommy? You're leaving us this year. Why are you leaving?
Oh, it's every once in a while in your brain something just says, it's time. So it's time to just pack it in. I've had over 60 years in the game. I've enjoyed every minute, with the exception of a couple of years, I guess. But I've enjoyed every minute, and it's just time. Hey, you want to go out on top. That's what you want to do.
Was this the first offseason that you thought, hey, maybe it's time that I'm done? Because I feel like as a player, if a player starts to think about retiring, it's probably time to retire.
Yeah, I actually thought about it at the end of last season, but you don't want to make that decision at the end of a season. So then I thought about it, talked about it with my wife and my family, and we just decided it's a good time to do it.
Expectations for what will be your last season with the team?
My expectations for myself, I hope I make it through 60 games that I have on home games. I hope I survive Jeremy Taché when he's at the ballpark. One of the expectations as a team, I hope, because baseball is a game where unless you have a long track record, it's hard to expect. So I hope to see improvement from various guys like an Augustine Ramirez, like a Jacob Marcy, like a Kyle Stowers, the guys up the middle. I'm really happy about the guys up the middle and Otto Lopez and Xavier Edwards. But I would like to see improvement along those lines in quite a number of players.
Did you have, you've been with the team for decades now. Did you have a moment early in your Marlins broadcast career where you finally felt like, yeah, this is my team, I'm a Marlins broadcaster? Was there an individual moment where you felt that connection?
Yeah, that's a great question. Early on, of course, my first year in 1997, they won the World Series, but it's hard to get that connection right then. Did have a great connection with Jim Leland, though. That's a terrific guy, Hall of Fame manager. I think it took 8 or 10 years, really, to have a real good connection. I've lived in South Florida for over 40 years. So even when I was broadcasting with other ball clubs and when I was with ESPN, I still followed the Marlins. And that's why I really enjoyed it when they became a ball club in 1993. It gave me a team to follow. So I have a connection. It's fun to see now my grown adult sons, even my granddaughters, have a connection to the Marlins. And my oldest granddaughter can name quite a few players on the Marlins team. So that's kind of fun to see.
Your favorite, not yet your favorite call. I do want to get to that. I think everybody wants to hear what your favorite calls have been. But do you have a favorite moment, a favorite play when you were on the call?
Boy, that's a good one. I think in the years that they clinched to go to the playoffs, those calls were great. Now, you have to remember, once it got into playoffs, we weren't involved because national TV takes over. I do remember in 2003, though, Len Casper and I got to do some pre- and post-game stuff on the radio. So that was fun. Favorite calls, I love the no-hitters. I remember Kevin Brown's back in 97 in San Francisco. I remember A.J. Burnett's no-hitter where he walked 9 and hit 2. And about the 5th inning, I looked over at my partner, Dave O'Brien, and I said, Obi, because he had guys on base every inning. So you didn't think there was a no-hitter. I said, Obi, this guy's got a no-hitter going. And all of a sudden, he threw a no-hitter in San Diego after walking 9 and hitting 2. That was kind of fun. So the no-hitters were fun. Anibal Sanchez, his no-hitter. So those calls were always fun. And I know you're going to get to and this really was spontaneous. Rich Waltz and I never came up with and sat down before a game and said, hey, let's say his name is Dan Uggla. Let's do that some night. It just happened. And I guess it happened because people used to ask us, other broadcasters, how does this guy pronounce his last name? Who is he? He's a Rule 5 guy. Who is this guy? And then one night we just let it fly.
What was the weirdest pronunciation you heard for Dan Uggla?
Oh, guys would say Ugla, and not so much pronunciation, but also because he was a Rule 5 guy, nobody knew who he was. You know, they said, who is this guy? And so we had to make sure that everybody knew who Dan Uggla was.
Okay, so what of all your famous moments that Marlins fans have loved over the years, what's the one that when you run into Marlins fans, your everyday life, that they reminisce with you the most about?
Well, there's that. They always bring up the Dan Ugglas. One of the fun things about that, we had one night, Mike Hill, Marlins GM at the time, was on the air with us talking about, the Marlins organization. And all of a sudden, Uggs went deep and hit a home run. And Mike Hill got right in with us and said, and his name is Dan Uggla. So we thought that was cool. And I guess the other one people always talk to me about is my going off the walls, off the rails on the play at home plate with Jeff Mathis shortly after they'd instituted the rule about blocking the plate, which was just ridiculous. And that was that's one people always remember.
I feel like it chastising the Mets fans is always one that the Marlins fan loves.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was at Pro Player Stadium. Yeah, they were leaving, and I made some comments about but at least they came, and that's good. We're just happy that they come. We'd like to see them maybe have their kids become Marlins fans, but deep down, I know that's probably not going to happen.
So you mentioned Dave O'Brien. You mentioned Len Casper. I mean, yes, you've been doing Marlins games for a long time, but like Tommy, you worked next to some incredible play-by-play guys.
Well, yeah, and don't forget, I was 11 years with Rich Waltz. Paul Severino was fantastic, and I love kidding Kyle Seeloff, who I work with now. I kidded Kyle the other day. I said, well, Kyle, look at it this way. If you ever get fired by the Marlins, you can go on and work WBC baseball games, because both Rich and Paul did a lot of WBC games this year. So, hey, I've been blessed with great partners. I know broadcasters who people find this hard to believe, who don't really get along that much off the air. They survive on the air and make it work. But I've always gotten along with the guys I worked with. I still stay in touch with all of them. And it's been a blessing for me, and it's made me a better broadcaster too.
Rich Waltz is the absolute greatest. Everybody knows that. It's a shame. No disrespect to anyone who does play-by-play now, of course, but it's a shame that Rich not still doing the Marlins games. Everybody knows that. That's neither here nor there. As far as the game today, Tommy, what do you like about the game today compared to years ago, maybe when you first started on Marlins broadcast, and what do you not like about the game today?
Oh, man, you're coming up with some really good stuff.
I'm
here.
great
good
at questions, Tommy. I ask great questions.
Yeah. I guarantee this is good stuff. What I like about the game now, I think, is the pace, mainly because of the pitch clock. The pace is better, and I think fans like that better because you go back to the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s. The pace of the game was pretty good. Then it really started to slow down with all the bullpen changes. What I don't like about the game is starting pitchers going 4 and 5 innings. I grew up, all the guys that seemed like I always roomed with pitchers, starting pitchers. And their goal when they started the game was to go 9 innings. And now it's just go as hard as you can, as long as you can. If it's 4 innings, okay, let's burn out a bullpen. So that part I don't like. I don't like games being in the hands of bullpen guys every night instead of that starting pitcher who started the game and should go a little bit longer. I guess I don't like all the swing and miss, but on the other hand, guys throw a lot harder today. So there's going to be more swing and miss and less putting the ball in play. So those are a couple things.
How do you expect the ABS challenge system to go?
I think he'll be all right from what I've seen in spring training, because we've had an opportunity to see it. We had a televised game the other day, and Kyle and I will be on the air Sunday for a Marlins-Mets game. And it doesn't slow. I thought it might slow things up, but it happens real fast. Within 10 seconds, you have the answer. I think we'll see spring training. We see it used, I think, differently than we'll see during the season. I think managers are wanting their players to be careful when to challenge, because you don't want to lose those challenges late in the game.
Tommy, I was told that you, Jeremy, and the other broadcasting team had a dinner recently, and I kind of want to. I want you to just kind of assess Jeremy. How was he at a restaurant? Did he embarrass himself at all?
No, he was good, and that's why they sat him next to me.
That's right.
You know, they wanted him. They wanted that veteran leadership to be with him, and I thought he handled himself very well. I cut him off after 6 drinks. And wanted to make sure he took an Uber home.
Well, while we were having too many drinks, Tommy, you told me a story about how you were first discovered as a player by Tommy Lasorda. Like, people don't realize that you have forgotten more about baseball than anyone listening to this will ever know. Can you share that story about being discovered by Tommy Lasorda?
It's a great story. I was playing baseball in high school. South Pasadena High School in Southern California, right outside Los Angeles. And a friend of mine, a classmate, had a summer job at Dodger Stadium working in a parking lot. And he said one day this guy came in and wanted to park in his area. And my buddy said, no, this space for cars is for the executives. You're a scout. So the scouts have to park over there. And the scout was very persistent. Finally, my buddy said, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll let you park here. If you're only going to be 5-10 minutes, I'll let you park here if you go scout my friend at South Pasadena High School, Tommy Hutton. And that scout was Tommy Lasorda. So he started following me playing in high school. And then in 1964, I signed with the Dodgers. This was before the draft. And Tommy used to love to, I didn't tell you this part, Jeremy. Tommy used to love to tell people, keep in mind, 1964, he used to love to tell people, I signed that young man out of South Pasadena High School for $210,000. And people would pause and they'd say, that's a lot of money. He goes, yep, I gave him $10,000 cash and $200,000 worth of advice.
It's a good story. Tommy, before we let you go here, Tommy Hutton, of course, going into his final season of his incredible career as a Marlins broadcaster. Your favorite Marlin everyday player and favorite Marlin pitcher to watch over these years has been?
Oh, well, you put me on the spot. We've mentioned it before. I'm going to have to say Dan Uggla. I loved watching him play. His grit. Played hard, played every day. And my favorite, a lot of pitchers, but I think the guy who really brought energy every time he went to the mound and the fans could feed off that was Jose Fernandez.
Excellent answers, Tommy. Tommy, have a great season. Have a lot of fun. And all Marlins fans appreciate all the joy you've given us over all these years.
We love you, Tommy.
Woo! Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Thank you very much.
His name is Tommy Hutton.
There you go. Tommy Hutton right there. Jeremy, you embarrassed yourself at dinner the other night?
No, he said I handled myself
Cut you
with
off at
grace.
6 drinks?
Yeah, handle that liquor.
6 Shirley
Lush.
Temples?
Didn't realize
six,
you were
yeah,
a
6
lush.
Shirley Temples. That's right.
6 drinks. My God.
Some laugh.
Yeah, well, you know.
Some laugh.
We'll revisit that, Mike.
We can revisit it.
Write that
we
down
will.
for me.
No, it's written down. It's already relayed. We're grabbing that.
Do you have a do you have a favorite Tommy Hutton like moment? Because I especially love, I brought up, hey, the Mets fans, making fun of the Mets fans, but if you remember the game, I think it was at Milwaukee, right, where Giancarlo Stanton took the pitch to the face, and he ended up missing like the rest of the season, and another player right after Stanton maybe almost got hit, and there was going to be a huge brawl because the Marlins understandably were super angry. And Tommy was angry too. He's like, you may not have done it on purpose, but enough's enough. Eventually, you got to stand up, and that was like my favorite. Where Tommy's nodding. All right, he knows, he remembers. All right, he remembers. You remember what I'm talking about there, Tommy?
Yeah, I do. That was an awful call. I mean, they called a strike. Stan got hit in the face, and because he turned, they called it a strike.
Yeah,
they actually called it a strike.
Yeah, and I forget who it was. The third baseman for the Marlins that year was especially angry. I forget his name. He had a really good season for the Marlins that year.
Was it Cantu? Jorge Cantu?
No, it wasn't Cantu. I forget his name. He played here for like a year, but he was super angry.
Wes Elms?
No. We could play this game.
Yeah, I love
Dave Magadan.
Dave Magadan. Anyway, yeah, that was my favorite. There.
Casey McGee.
Yes, Casey McGee. It was Casey McGee, Tommy.
McGee.
That's
Good
right.
one.
That's right. All right. Tommy, you said it all. Excellent job. So there you go. That was my favorite. Chris, though.
All right, guys, I gotta go. I'll see you.
See you, Tommy.
Yeah.
Bye, Tommy.
All right, take care.
Chris, you mentioned recently, like a few days ago, that you're super excited for the start of this Marlins season, actually.
I actually think that the Marlins, this is as good as I've felt about a Marlins season going into it in a long time. And I'm not saying that they're going to win the division. I just think that they're going to be in the hunt for the wild card. I like the top two starters if Yuri Perez and Sandy stay healthy. I just think you actually have, like what he mentioned, up the middle. Like, they actually have some guys now, and it's the best I've felt going into a season. Dave?
I know you guys have been talking about the World Baseball Classic, but I was also interested in Tommy's opinion, but now he's gone. So I turned to Jeremy and the rest of the gang. How do you transfer the energy that was in that exact same place into Marlins games? Because, man, the sharp difference between the two is going to be pretty striking, I suspect, come April, right? I mean, but how do you get that same energy? Because that was everything. That's what baseball needs. And a lot of people are now talking about that MLB has now exceeded the NBA in popularity or is about to. How say you guys?
I think it's tough to duplicate what rooting for your nation's team does, right? Like, this would be like asking New York City FC, if that's what they're called, right? New York City FC to have the same energy.
I'm sorry I have to interrupt you, Taché, but Taché, that's exactly what we're talking about with the Heat fans or the Heat arena chanting MVP at Luka. The international flavor is what made it great. And so now pick up on, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I think you can have it both ways. Right?
It's a great
if you're
point.
supporting what we saw there, right?
That's right. And you can have both, but they've tried over the years of specific pandering to certain demographics to try to get them to care in a different way. It doesn't matter. They got to build a winner, and they can get an atmosphere, a consistent winner, but it's going to be difficult to get anything that feels quite like what you saw in the WBC. And if you really expect that to happen, you'll probably get a laugh that sounds like this.
Mystery Crate, check it out this week. Rose fills out a bracket, and we are putting money behind it. If she gets a certain amount, I'm not going to spoil it. There's stakes here. Rose can win up to $500 from me personally. So you got to tune in. You got to check out Rose's bracket.
That's the truth. He's not lying about that.
Yep.
That's really actually what's going to happen.
I'll definitely pay
It's going to pale in comparison when she wins $1 billion for getting the perfect bracket
well,
for Warren
she's
Buffett.
told me that if she hits perfect and hits $1 billion, the bet is void, and me and her split at 50-50.
But what about the rest of us?
I mean, you guys aren't in on that.
You're out.
Wait a second.
But tune in.
Zaz's old-ass story time. He brings an old-ass story from the archives. He had to blow the dust off of it from how old it was. Hey, yo. And we finally pick our Mystery Crate teams. Yeah. The Mystery Crate character draft. We have that today, too, on Mystery Crate.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Mike, what do we got going on tonight? Big night for the Cyclones.
Yeah, I want to actually inform the audience. We are back in action tonight. It's a brand new arena, brand new location, the Jam Arena at Casino Miami. It is still free entry, but if you just walk up expecting to get in free and you want GA tickets, it'll be $5 up there at the box office. But you can get free tickets by going to jamarena.com and using the promo code Friday5OFF. I believe that's the one, right, Chris? Yeah. Friday 5 off when you check out. Then it costs you $0, and you can watch the defending fall champion Cyclones take the court today.
Hopefully bounce back.
We're playing Udonis Haslam's team today, the Renegades, where it's Manu versus Gocherry. That's always a great matchup. Two of the best players in the world.
Everyone knows that's a big matchup.
UD usually shows up. I don't appreciate the sarcastic laugh over there trailing from one Mr. Dave Damashek. Well, no,
Zaslow's just delightful. That's all.
Zaslow knows this. Zaslow knows. Zaslow knows. As a member of the Dan Le Batard Show, he is also a part co-owner of the Cyclones. So we're taking the court today, and first toss is at 7 o'clock. So if you want a perfect Friday night, you go to Highlight, you watch the Cyclones do battle, you stroll on out, and you watch the Miami Hurricanes tip off at 10:10. It's actually perfect today.
So criminal time for for the Heat.
I kind of vibe with it on a Friday night, especially because I get to watch my highlight. Yeah, it'd be a real tricky situation for me if the games were happening at the same exact time. But I go from Cyclones right into Canes basketball. It's perfect.
Very good. A lot of tournament to get to from yesterday, which, of course, brings us to tonight. We have a few games that are of interest. How about tonight at 7:35 p.m. Eastern in the West region? We have number 2 Purdue, the Big Ten tournament champion. They are represented by
Jonathan Zaslow. Looks like he says, "Uh-oh, spaghetti-o," when he sees someone pulled over.
You say that?
Yeah, apparently I do.
Oh, spaghetti-o.
And they are facing 15 seed Queens, represented by
Nick Wright. Looks like Adam Driver if he wore his Kylo Ren helmet for a month straight.
I like that one. Also tonight, 9:45 p.m. Eastern Time, East Region, number 4 Kansas. They're represented by
Mario Cristobal. Looks like he disapproves of his daughter's choice.
Yeah, I think we could all see that. Yeah. And they are facing number 13 Cal Baptist, being represented by
Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell. Looks like he fundamentally disagrees with everything you're saying.
So if I asked you, Tony, yesterday, out of all the action that took place in the tournament, the biggest story after day one was what?
Ooh, I'd probably say Dabansa getting bounced was a big story.
He was awesome.
He was great, and that's why, I think that's such a pivotal thing in March where you have these guys that kind of make their name getting ready for the NBA draft.
That's
Darius
BYU,
Acuff,
right?
Yeah. Darius Acuff Jr. was great. Arkansas looks like just a steamroller in that conference.
Did you watch Sean Miller's in-game interview when he was asked, how do you slow down?
Dabansa? No, what did he say?
I don't believe we can.
Sean Miller's great. But I think that was a big story. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, the High Point game was awesome. The kid shooting from the logo was insane. I love that guy. He actually hit a layup.
Guys, it was all about VCU's comeback
against
North Carolina. North Carolina had that game done and dusted, and VCU just would not quit. Full court pressure, making that happen. It was a heinous overtime. It was just truly awful basketball to watch.
So no one scored until I think about 2 minutes left in the overtime.
But it was dramatic. I mean, everyone expected that to be a good game, and then North Carolina was dominating that game. And now you take a look at Hubert Davis. I know John Fanta told us Hubert Davis wasn't coaching for his job. There have been whispers around Chapel Hill. When you blow a game in that fashion, it is curious to see what's going to happen there. And we got Kentucky later today. I'm worried, Zaz. The doomsday clock is inching closer to midnight.
Uh-oh. Oh, boy.
Okay, but if we're talking UNC, because we did bring this up yesterday about Hubert Davis possibly coaching for his job, I brought it up last night on ESPN Radio as well. Like, I think there's something to it. And, like, the game was going on while I was on the air last night. I'm talking about Hubert Davis, and then they wind up losing. They blow the 19-point lead. Jay Lucas being recruited potentially by UNC does, I mean, look, he's going to take whatever big job he can get. Does he care at all that it's UNC if they were to come after him?
I mean,
UNC Duke, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that plays into it whatsoever. Look, Jay Lucas, if North Carolina or Kentucky call you, you're gonna listen.
Right.
You're just gonna listen in that sport. You have to. But I in my heart of hearts, I believe Jay Lucas is building something nice over here. We already know what the ceiling can be for Miami. An Elite Eight followed by a Final Four. This can be a special place. And 1 year in, Jay Lucas already had one of the best regular seasons ever. He's, at 37 years old, a great recruiter. He's certainly going to be near the top or at the top of these lists. But I'm holding out hope. He's already got a 5-star commitment coming in next year. And it's not like just trust me, bro, in the transfer portal. He's got proof of concept now. And he knows that he can develop players. Look what he's done with guys like Uday and Donaldson. These are guys that have really developed here into potentially like NBA players.
He's an awesome coach, and we'll see what happens. Like, it's a trust the process kind of situation. Like, he's building something like you said. But when the big boys call, you got to listen. Speaking of the big boys, you mentioned Duke. I thought that was an interesting game yesterday, too. Siena gave them all that they could handle.
Yeah.
And Carlos Boozer.
The other Boozer.
No, well, Caden
he actually played well.
But
he's
Cam
been playing
Boozer
real well lately.
Did not look great. A lot of fumbling the ball, a lot of turnovers, a lot of like weird plays where he couldn't get anything on their
but he was just crushing them on the glass.
Sure,
yeah,
okay.
He asserted it as well. Dave, you're a student of the game. I don't think I can remember an NCAA tournament game in which a starting five played the entire game. Jerry McNamara, that's right, that Jerry McNamara is a head coach at Siena. He didn't sub out any of his players.
Yeah, I think the Hackman's Huskers maybe attempted that at the high school level, but I don't think I've ever seen it in college. Although I will say Bob Knight had an iron 5 that he rolled through and remained in the top 5 throughout. As an Indiana Hoosiers graduate, I have to shout that out. And by the way, you mentioned the Canes. I know you're a basketball school more than a football school, but you really did a great job with that playoff run last year. Came up a little bit short, but don't hang your heads about that. I think the thing more globally with college basketball, we're largely, I don't think we want to acknowledge it because we all enjoy March Madness. I think everybody, you're just surviving. You ain't living if you ain't in a bar as soon as this show ends and getting drunk on the man's clock. While you're at work, if you sit in a cubicle all day, every day for 365 or something close to it, if you ain't escaping the office to go and throw on a good drunk while watching student athletes today, what are you doing? This is time to live, everybody. And what's further, it's important, even if we like Cinderella stories, what makes Cinderella stories is an established bully.
Yes.
We need Duke to survive.
Yes.
It's bad that UNC lost. You want Kentucky to win because then you really are we're already just rooting for brands at this point. That's what we're reacting to. When everybody fills out their brackets, all we really know deep down, if you're being honest with the man in the mirror, very few of us really know much about who these guys are at this point because of NIL and because they're on to the NBA, if they're worth their salt in terms of basketball. So I think it all amounts to enjoy your Cinderella stories, but really, if you want your brackets and otherwise, if you want college basketball to be relevant, you want the recognizable team brands to survive into the Sweet 16 and beyond.
So I don't think Hubert Davis is going to lose his job. I think this was his 5th year. He's had one Final Four appearance, no national championships. He's a tremendous recruiter, which is likely what has him keep his job. He has the out where Caleb Wilson didn't play, so I don't think he actually loses his job. But they blow a 19-point lead yesterday to VCU. UNC looked horrible late in the game and in overtime. Here's Hubert Davis post-game. Hubert was brutal in his post-game session.
got a little bit tired there?
I did not. I didn't.
Hubert, why did you go to just a 6-man rotation in the second half?
Because that was my decision.
Coach, what do you think went wrong?
What do you mean?
Hubert, the free throws again, as you mentioned, a little bit of an issue tonight. Why do you think that was such an issue for your team throughout the season?
That's a great question. I mean, we work on them, and
Hubert Davis did work in media.
I mean, he's asked, what do you think went wrong? His answer is, what do you mean? Well, Hubert, it's first game and you're done.
You had a 19-point lead, and you're not winning. You're North Carolina. That's where the question's coming from.
You didn't make the second round? I think that's what I mean. What went wrong?
You were up big, and then you lost.
What do you mean?
I mean, come on. That's disingenuous, Hubert. So then you have Duke, who loves UNC losing, not just because they're huge rivals, but it's like, okay, that's not the biggest story anymore. Duke almost losing to Siena. Did you see this? So Duke is down by 9, I think it was at halftime. They ended up trailing by 13 early in the second half. Duke is down by 9 at halftime. And listen to this. This is Duke forward Malik Brown, and Tracy Wolfson has him, for the halftime interview there. Again, Duke is down by 9 to number 16, Siena. Here's Malik Brown.
What did Shire tell you in the locker room?
Yeah, obviously we weren't playing our basketball. Just like I said, we thought it was going to be a cakewalk going into this game. So now we know what it is, and we just got to respond back the way we usually do.
So Malik Brown, he talks about how they thought it was going to be a cakewalk. And Cameron Boozer, after the game, said something similar too. And I'll tell you, they're kind of throwing John Shire onto the bus there. Because whether it's true or not, they make it sound like it's an easy way to say that your coach didn't prepare you for the game, whether it's true or not.
It's the first thing that John Shire said after the game.
When you say we thought it was going to be a cakewalk, it's so easy to point to the coach, you didn't have these guys ready.
But he said it. It was like the first thing he said in his post-game interview. I was shocked by it, was that he was like, I didn't have them ready to play. He outcoached me. And I'm just proud of our guys for coming out with the mentality in the second half that they could win this game because I got outcoached and I didn't have them ready.
Well, we could tell early, though. We could tell early because they were sleepwalking through the first half where you were like, wait a second, Duke's going to turn it on at some point, right? They have this great player in Cam Boozer. All of a sudden, it's like, they're down 9, they're down 11, they're down 13. Where's this team? This is not the team that we thought was the number 1 seed.
Also, what is a cakewalk?
I was wondering the same thing.
It's actually kind of racist. Yeah. Really? Yeah, we've done this before.
Oh, good. Then we continue to use it.
I think it's one of those deals where it's survive in advance. I don't look at it and say, oh, well, Duke.
This is not a bigger issue for you, for Duke?
I take the perspective of better you didn't take your opponent serious against the 16 than get to the Sweet 16 and you're not taking your opponent serious, because that team could be like an 8 or a 9 seed, and if you don't take them serious, you're going to wind up losing. I don't think Duke is going to have another game this tournament.
They play TCU next.
Where they didn't take their opponent serious. They did that, and they were down 13 in the second half. So
Jeremy's face looks like he just discovered he's been uttering a
I'm not gonna say cakewalk anymore.
You just did.
I did.
Why
That's
is
the
it
last
racist?
time.
Why is it racist?
Well, but for what it's worth,
this is educational because, look, it's like saying master bedroom these days.
Right.
Yeah, you should probably correct that.
And I will say, in this case, it does seem as though the cakewalk was a bit of a form of protest, because according to the AI overview, which we know is always right, the cakewalk originated in the late 19th century as a dance created by enslaved African Americans on southern plantations. That's where I first went, ooh. But it said it was designed to satirize the elegant manners and formal dances of white plantation owners.
Mm-hmm.
So, in a sense, this is maybe not as bad as we originally thought.
You still want to say it, huh?
Yeah,
come on, man.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not going to say it.
Why do you want to say it so bad?
Whisper, attaché.
And in your defense, Dave got us started on this.
No, you put this on me. I didn't know.
It was you. You said it. You asked for it.
I made a mistake. I wasn't aware. What the mistake Zaslow seems to be making here is like eternally. Don't you know that a heavily favored team doesn't take its foe seriously? I think it's interesting that a student athlete says that into a microphone, but that's the eternal battle, isn't it? That how do we get right for a game where we know that if we show up for it, we obviously are going to smoke this team, but how do we get up for a team that we know that we're way better than?
I mean, I guess
I think it's an interesting inflection point.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that attitude is very prevalent during a regular season game, all right? But when you're in the NCAA tournament, that game yesterday it's literally Siena's championship. Like, Siena's not going into the tournament saying, maybe we're going to make a run. We go win this thing. Like, no. Siena is trying to beat Duke in the first round of the tournament. And if they do, it's an all-time moment for the school. It is their championship. And that's why, like, you can't just say it's going to be a cakewalk. I said it for you, Jim.
Yeah, but you have a big ego as a Power 5 college basketball player and all of that. So you can't really, if you try to deny your confidence that obviously we're better than this team, is we should kill Siena. It is a weird sort of paradox that as a team you have to overcome, right? Like, obviously if we show up, we're going to kill this team. But let's not be overconfident about it, right? I mean, obviously, that's what these coaches talk about forever.
But, Dave, that's like the rolling out the ball theory. Like, we roll out the ball in the court, we're better than them no matter what. We don't really need a coach. That's kind of the ethos behind it. But then you have somebody on the other side that is playing for their championship and playing for their eternal lives. Because a lot of these guys are probably never going to sniff professional basketball outside of what they're playing at this moment. And it's like, all right, we're going to try to give everything we have to a team that has some flaws in Duke, right? Like, I didn't love the way Cam Boozer played, right? He's supposed to be a top 3, top 5 pick. And I was like, I don't love that. He's not super athletic right now. He's looking kind of slow. And
really? I mean, the commentators said that
you came out of that game thinking Cam Boozer has it all.
Yeah,
really?
I mean, he could have dominated. Yeah, the commentators were like, "This guy dominated this game."
Yeah, he did.
I mean, I'd hope he dominated against 16 Siena. I saw him do a lot of mistakes. I saw him get stuck in a lot of double teams that he should have passed out of quicker. Like, there was a lot of things where I looked at and I was like, he's not as athletic as I thought he was going to be.
Not against Siena, but the curse of Sposta that I talk about all the time is a legitimate plague. It's an extra burden on your shoulders. When you're expected to do it, when you're supposed to win, that does add a certain gravity to your side of things. There's only sorrow in losing. I mean devastation and only relief in victory. There is not like, we did it, celebrate, rejoice, rah, rah. It's like, whew. Thank goodness we got by that team that we were way better than.
Did you know yesterday Nebraska beat Troy? It's their first ever tournament victory. And with Nebraska's win yesterday, they became the last Power 4 conference team to win a tournament game.
Really?
They were the only Power 4 conference school to never have won an NCAA tournament game. And they beat Troy yesterday.
They took that ass, too.
They did take that ass. So, finally here, the other highlight of yesterday is going to bring us to Stat of the Day, which Jeremy has for us here.
Start of the day, start of the day. This is start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. This is start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. This is start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. This is start of the day.
This stat of the day is presented by Moneyline. Download the Moneyline app or visit moneyline.com to learn more. Moneyline, make money easy.
High Points Chase Johnston, number 99, was 64 for 132.
So good.
From three-point land going into yesterday. He was 0 for 4 in two-point range going into yesterday.
So good.
Until he hit the game-winning layup in the final seconds.
That kind of rimmed into.
No wonder he hit the game-winning layup. He came inside the three-point line. They didn't know what to do.
It was unbelievable. I will say, maybe not a perfect layup. the grace to be able to, on the break in the final seconds of the game, lay in a finger roll like that when you haven't made a 2-point shot all year long. That
I'd like to track those 2-point shots, by the way, of the four that he missed.
Where were they from?
Foot on the line.
Yeah, toe on the line.
That's
a
great question.
Close enough? Was it a step in? Maybe he faked in and stepped in.
I'm gonna try to. I'm like a dog with a bone on this. I'll find out.
He looked like Steph Curry out there though. Like he was taking shots that were ultimate neon green light.
Like
Dave,
super in transition.
Dave, did you see the shot that a guy, I don't know who it was on their team, took about 3 dribbles into half court, turned around, gave him the ball, and then he shot it leaning in from the logo and drilled it. Dave Damashek.
Excellent. I love that stat, though, that same guy somehow made it through an entire season. How's that even possible to spend that amount of time on the floor and not fall into an offensive rebound on the wrong side of the rim and just throw it? That never happened in 30-something games, and now it did happen in that spot. Wild. All-time wild stat.
It was a great finish, high points. They come back, they win that game. They send Wisconsin home. Typical, it's your typical 12-5 upset. It seems to happen every season, and High Point advances. But I don't know if you saw this, Dave. So High Point's student broadcast, they have a play-by-play guy and they have a color analyst, all right? And they're sitting there courtside at the game. And this video of these two students calling, it's High Point University student radio. These two kids calling the final moments, it's the best thing you're going to see today.
To Anderson, driving, step back. In circles now, Johnson catch and shoot. That's what they needed. Timeout. Portland, do you believe it? Here comes Johnson. The layup. It's Johnson on transition. Takes it inbounds. 9 seconds. Boyd wants it inside. Drive. 6 seconds. Block. Now Boyd, they launch down court. Anderson gets it. Throw on the glass slipper. It's a Cinderella story in Portland, Oregon. For the first time in program history, High Point breaks through. We will see you in the round of 32. Oh, what a feeling.
It's a great call. It's really good, too.
Good for
right?
him, dude. Good for him.
It's really good. I mean, obviously, he sounds like a student, but Dave, it's a great call, too.
Yes, kudos to him. That's the takeaway. Yes, the fandom and everything else. Yes, he nailed that call. That's the big spot, and he came through in it. You never know how you're going to do in a pressure-packed moment until you're in it, and that guy is a play-by-play guy. Survived. Nay, he thrived. Great job.
Oh, what a feeling.
Tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Time in the East region, as we continue on with our looks like, we have number 2, UConn, being represented by
Adam Silver looks like a newly opened chapstick.
They are facing number 15, Furman, represented by
Adam Silver looks like a torpedo bat.
Oh, that's a really good one. How's that 15?
Remember how big a story this time last year, the torpedo bats?
Like, what are these bats? They're torpedoes.
They're cheating.
Yeah, that was the question.
The Yankees, they're cheating with their torpedo bats. I don't know if you guys saw this. And then I want to get to the Canes for tonight in a moment here. But
this is heartbreaking to report to you and our audience. Chuck Norris has passed away. It was reported yesterday that he was in Hawaii. He was rushed to the hospital, and TMZ has reported that the legendary Chuck Norris.
He was like 90, right?
TV star, movie star. He was 86, I believe. And pop culture sensation. Everyone got swept away with Chuck Norris facts. He has passed away. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I didn't mean to laugh there. It's just like awkward silence after that.
Well, I had to fill the. We've seen
of
how
awkward
Jeremy has filled awkward silence. I didn't think that was the right call. So
I'm going to fill it with this. A random stat that I think is fascinating is that's what I was just looking up there for the wildest stat. A.J. Dewey, your Dolphins legend, 3 career interceptions in the regular season, 3 interceptions in the AFC title game off the right arm of Dick Todd in the New York Jets to advance David Woodley and company to the Super Bowl, where they lost ultimately to John Riggins and that Washington team. Now, that's a wild stat of something that never – A.J. Dewey never intercepts the ball, and then he does it 3 times in one game? Sheesh.
Touching words. A really poignant tribute,
Norris.
Dave. A really poignant tribute.
Chuck Norris.
You know what? He eulogize a guy.
Yeah, you really nailed it.
Come on. What do you want? All right, wait. Go ahead, please. The floor is yours. Right?
You're giving A.J. Dewey stat. The man's dead.
Say something nice about Chuck Norris. Let me talk about A.J. Dewey.
I would have gone Delta Force personally, but Dick Todd, fine.
Okay, you know what? Tip of the cap to Conan O'Brien for making Chuck Norris more relevant with his recurring bit about Walker, Texas Ranger, because that was hysterical.
When I think of Chuck Norris, I think of Stugotz asking this iconic question.
All right, we're going to see whether any of these here can crack Chuck Norris's top 10. Now, your favorite involves the Tyrannosaurus Rex. You want to do yours?
Yeah, that Chuck Norris was chasing the Tyrannosaurus Rex. The Rex was not chasing the Jeep.
Okay, in Jurassic Park. Way to screw that up. I kind of blindsided him.
I didn't know you were throwing
That's
it to me
my
there.
fault. What it was, way to deliver that one. Good to start that way.
Man, Dan sounds so young.
Whose voice is that?
That is an ancient clip now. Everyone sounds young. Chuck Norris is dead. Jesus. I can't believe that. This is one of those guys that you just thought would live forever. I mean, 86 years old. It's kind of
Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris was in the water in one of those missing in action pictures that he did. He did multiples. Like he kept going back across the Pacific to retrieve his brethren. And one time he's down in the water, like with one of those big machine guns, the giant kind, like Jesse Ventura might have, and he's hidden in the water. Then he pops up shooting the gun. I don't know if that would work in real life, but it was a pretty cool looking shot, that's for sure.
That is a much better appropriate.
See, that's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Yeah, my favorite Chuck Norris thing outside of Walker, Texas Ranger, because I loved Walker, Texas Ranger. I used to watch it with my grandparents when I was a kid, and then I was a big Conan fan, and yeah, I love those clips. But the movie Sidekicks.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, not Three Ninjas, nor is it Three Ninjas Kick Back. But Sidekicks with Jonathan Brandis, which was a movie that was sort of paying homage to Chuck Norris's entire career, where Jonathan Brandis would have these fantastical daydreams where he was put into Chuck Norris's greatest movies. That film was one of my favorites when I was a little kid. And this is sad. This guy was a huge sensation, and even after the prime of his career, he became more famous than ever because of the internet. He was an internet age celebrity. He became kind of one of the first memes ever.
So is A.J. Dewey, number 77. Weird number for a linebacker, but go ahead.
Is Walker, Texas Ranger like the obvious, this was his greatest role, movie / TV?
I believe so. I mean, he had the scene with Bruce Lee, and he was a huge B action movie. I think that's fair. I don't mean that as an insult, but lower budget action movie star.
Was it on right before Monday Night Raw?
No, those Michigan action movies were big at the time.
Really? I don't. Yeah. Like the prime of his silver screen career was a little before my time, to the point that like his big movie was like my entire career is canon. But he was an internet celebrity and an actual celebrity. Tough as nails too. Tough as nails, or legit bona fides, not like those contrived martial arts stars.
Who are the contrived martial arts stars?
Good point. Yeah, say their names.
Well, I'm a little afraid of him, but we've seen what he's done when he's swarmed by 12 Russians.
Wow.
But the Steven Seagal little casual flip there. I would have loved to have seen a fight there. I think Chuck Norris goes over.
So, I don't know if you guys saw this yesterday. Everybody fills out brackets, right? Anyone fill out Dave, do you fill out one bracket or multiple brackets?
I think this is going to reveal me as an awful curmudgeon.
You
I
don't
did
do it?
zero practice this year. Zero practice.
Why's that?
So you don't watch college basketball, huh?
I mean, I watch a little college basketball, but I feel like a pretentious ass trying to scratch out some team names when I really don't know very much about the players who are wearing those uniforms. I mean, I didn't do one. I don't find it a I think it's a great societal event. Like I say, if you ain't getting drunk on the man's time today, I mean, not on the weekend, but on a Friday in the middle of the day. And how often are major sporting events occurring in the middle of the workday? So take advantage of it. That said, I just don't find it a great evaluator of who the best team in the sport is. I never have, even at the height of college basketball. It's a super fun tournament to watch. It's not a great way to determine who the best team in the country is. Sports are an imperfect measurement.
Yeah, this is what I've been saying.
This isn't especially bad.
The Rams are better than the Seahawks. Yeah.
Get out of here, Dave. That's not what this tournament's about. It's exactly what you highlighted. It's leaving for lunch early and never coming back. No one cares about who the best team is. Everyone knows it's a single elimination tournament. They're crazy upsets, and it's the last team standing. Not with
you
college
don't tell
basketball.
me. I just told you there are a lot of colors in my rainbow.
No, but you did it in perfect measurement system.
I said I'm not getting in the way of your fun. I said go.
You are.
Go make your brackets.
Look,
go do 37 brackets for all I give. Go have a good goddamn time for all I care. I didn't do it. I'm not standing in your way.
I used to be just like you. I used to be just like you. I went several years without filling a bracket because I was like, why am I going to fill a bracket out and just office camaraderie, I guess, because I don't really follow this sport. But this year, I'm proud of myself because I made a concerted effort to get back into college basketball this season and educate myself. I'm winning bets. My brackets look great. I'm winning DraftKings DFS contests.
You know what you're talking about?
I know what I'm talking about.
Your bracket's not busted yet?
I'm like, I still got it. Yeah. I can follow sports and form informed opinions and cash in because I put the work in. I'm rejuvenated as a sports fan.
Let's go to Applebee's after and watch a bunch of games.
You got that good bracket?
Are Dollaritas back? Yeah, I've only
Brother.
in my main bracket because I filled out 4. And the strategy is there's a couple of games like, this is a coin flip game. Like tonight, Miami versus Mizzou, coin flip game. In a couple brackets, I'll take Miami. Couple brackets, I'll take Mizzou. And in one bracket, I'll have Miami going to the Sweet 16 because if they match up against Purdue, I like it.
Who are your 2 favorite Missouri players?
There's this guy, Mitchell.
Who are you most worried about?
Mitchell, I think.
And then boys?
Yeah, Mitchell. Now, I got to...
What a move Dave just pulled.
Such a Bush League move from this guy. Doesn't even fill out a bracket but wants to talk about Mizzou. Absolutely Bush League from you.
It was a great move. And guess what?
No,
Steven
I'm making
Seagal
my point.
just dispatched him.
Exactly right.
Yeah, I just
because you know what you're talking about.
That's right. I flipped him over. Mitchell, boom. And I'm only like 75% sure there's a Mitchell on their team, but you're not going to check. No one's going to call me on it.
Sounds right.
Boom. We move on. All right. Like in my main bracket, though, I've only got 1 game wrong so far. It was great. Imagine my surprise when I checked in midway through the BYU Texas game to see in one of the contests I was tied with about 3,000 other people for first place.
Wow. I got to show you.
There's a Mitchell on the team. Mark Mitchell.
He's good.
6'9" guard.
He's good.
Good player.
That's my gimmick. I gotta show you Colin Cowherd's bracket. All right. So Colin Cowherd, all right. So Colin Cowherd posted his bracket, and by the way, he filled it out by hand. All right.
I actually like this.
Yeah, that's a good move.
Filled it out by hand. But Colin Cowherd posted his bracket on Twitter, all right? And the tweet reads, my mostly chalk bracket. All right, it's fine, if whatever. Talked myself into 2 Akron wins. Iowa State is my sleeper. Let's start there with Iowa State.
They've been one of the best teams all year.
They're a 2 seed.
Tony, they're a 2 seed.
I know.
All right?
They've been great this season.
Not only are they a 2 seed, but he has them losing, according to his bracket, he has them losing in the Elite 8 to a 1 seed. So his sleeper beats every team that they're favored against, and they lose to the team that they're not favored against. I mean, I feel like his definition of sleeper a little bit different than mine. That's one, all right? Number two, if we could put it back up on our video screen here, if you look in the region in the top left, in the Elite Eight, he has Duke in the Sweet 16, he has Michigan facing UConn. Okay, fine, nothing wrong with that, right? And he has UConn beating Michigan. Also nothing wrong with that. But then, if you jump ahead to the Final Four, he has Michigan State getting an automatic bye past UConn, even though UConn beat them in the Sweet 16. What are we doing?
Is he doing a thing? I think he's doing a thing. Colin is really good at rage baiting with some of his takes on the show. Colin kind of puts work into what will piss people off and get them going.
Damn, we fell for it.
What a pizzazz off.
And
I'm not pissed off.
He's got this AI Colin thing on that Fox app, and he's like, man, I should have consulted AI me on for my bracket. This is so strange.
It's
so wrong.
Odd
that I think it's an engagement rage bait situation.
How could he possibly think that a 2 seed is a sleeper?
He doesn't. He can't possibly. He's worked in sports for a very long time. He's doing a thing. He's got to be doing a thing.
How can he have Michigan State losing and then advancing to the Final Four?
Zaz, if he's not doing a thing, he needs to stop doing all the things. He needs to stop. He needs to stop doing sports if he's not doing a thing there.
I would love to do what I just did to Mike, to Cowherd and anybody else who talks into a microphone on a national level, on a local level, or otherwise. Hey, why Iowa State? Can you name who are your 2 favorite players? Who do you like on that Iowa State team? The answer would be, I don't care about the individual players. I'm riding with the coach. Okay, tell me who the coach of Iowa State is. This would expose the sports media in a way that nothing else possibly could. Nobody knows anything about any of these college basketball teams. Why? Because college basketball, like I say, is on the steep decline and has been for the last 20 years. That said, go get drunk at the bar and enjoy watching today.
On this episode of the Alley Oop, Cade Cunningham out for possibly the rest of the season. It shakes up the entire complexion of the East.
Also, my guy, your guy, Lamar Odom has been visited by the Black Mamba in a dream. What did he tell my boy? Lock in and find out.
Lock in.
So I think we glossed over this a little too fast earlier in the show today. Jeremy had a weird laugh. All right. Jeremy had a weird laugh when the great Tommy Hutton joined us today. Let me hear the Jeremy laugh again, please. All right. Is it just me?
I've heard that before.
Right? Yeah, right.
I've heard that before, right?
Okay, so it's not just me, because it sounds awfully similar to Kawhi Leonard.
Dude, that's so weird.
No, that is really weird.
All right, so hold on. Let's give me Jeremy again now that we have the evidence in front of us. Give me Jeremy again. Okay, weird.
What were you doing there? What happened to your
Weird.
mind?
I was trying. So nobody gave Tommy anything on something that was a funny story, and so in my brain I'm like, all right, I got a fake laugh. Because I got to fill this space. It was awkward for me personally with my personal relationship there.
We saw you, yeah.
And so I tried to fill it. I think
not
whatever
laughing.
whatever was going on in the recesses of my mind.
And the recesses of your mind
this is
came
the
out
laugh.
Kawhi Leonard?
Yeah, like pulled the Kawhi Leonard laugh and was like, that's a fake laugh that works. It's not. Oh, it was really strange.
Usually, like when someone does something that's not that funny, you'll give them like. Anyways, Tommy, up the middle.
Well, nobody was going to ask a
Middle
question.
relief.
Instead, you just decided.
I was waiting for Zaz to ask a question.
Let me do a Kawhi Leonard impression.
What is going on
Chris,
here?
Chris, I'm going to give you a task. Can you multi-track this?
I already did it.
Go for it. That's unbelievable.
That's crazy. That's harmony.
Oh my God, guys, this might replace Hakeem Nicks. We might have a new Hakeem Nicks laugh.
Kawhi Leonard.
Use that in
The
arbitration.
Semitic warrior strikes again.
Can I hear that one more time? Astonishing.
Fantastic stuff.
I can't believe it.
I mean, I just like the idea. I just like that you were so quick thinking on your feet that in order to fill an awkward moment, you said, let's do a Kawhi Leonard impression.
It might be time. Hakeem Nicks' time might be up.
No,
I think
cannot
so.
retire.
Play the
I
Hakeem
think
Nicks
so.
laugh really quick so we can hear it.
Yeah, for reference, we had Hakeem Nicks when he was, on top of the world.
He was my favorite player.
And when we were over at ESPN, we had Hakeem Nicks on the show, and he gave us a laugh. Honestly, this one's not even close to me anymore. We are going.
Are we saying like the two overlapped is our new laugh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because like that's the thing. It's amazing.
Can I win best limited fake?
You've won best laugh, best limited fake, all in one swoop, and also you've retired the Hakeem Nicks laugh.
So this is a legendary performance.
I cannot believe I am here for this.
Today is one of the most legendary performances in the history of the show, is what you're saying to me?
And Dan's not here to see it in arbitration.
I'll be bringing it to arbitration, though.
He's
Don't
gonna
you
say
worry.
it's AI. It doesn't matter.
It's
Kawhi.
On a day in which Chuck Norris has passed away, you have found a way to steal the headlines.
Unbelievable. Speechless. Look at him. He's
I
speechless.
really am. I don't even
was
know what
waiting
to
for you
say.
to fill the time with the Kawhi Leonard impression again. Mike, are we excited about the Canes tonight? Canes tonight, number 10, Missouri gets a home game over number 7, Canes, Miami Hurricanes tonight. 10 p.m. I'm going to have to get in a schluff at some point in the middle of the day today. The boys are going to be tired.
No way that you're staying up. No way.
A schluff?
I'm going to hope it's a nap.
What is a schluff?
Dave, you know what a schluff is. Come on now, Dave. Help me out here.
Take a nice schluff next to the Semitic warrior there.
That's right. Take a nap, all right? I gotta get in some shut-eye in the middle of the day. I'm going to take a schluff so I can get myself ready for the game tonight. That's right.
I am super excited for this, but also it's not as high stakes. Now, it depends how these games go. If Miami has a big lead and then they end up losing, I'm going to be devastated, right? But entering this game, it's a 1.5-point spread, 10 p.m. tip. You're playing Mizzou, 2 hours away from campus in St. Louis. Deck is a little stacked here, right? But I think it's been a brilliant first season. And God bless Jim Larrañaga, but the last two Miami Hurricanes teams have done a lot. It's no coincidence, Dave, that I haven't been filling out brackets. My interest in college basketball is usually tied to the University of Miami and their performance, and it's been a brilliant season, surpassing wildest expectations. And now it's just like, how much higher can the watermark get? I love that they're in this tournament again. I get into the
It'd be
basketball.
disappointing if they lose tonight.
It would be. Look, I've been a Miami Heat, Miami Hurricanes basketball season ticket holder for several years now. I like all these players on this team.
Did you consider going?
I did. That's also St. Louis, but Battle Court as well.
St. Louis.
Yeah, but if they make it to the Sweet 16,
underratedly bad town, right? Or not bad town, but like among our major cities, what can you properly tell us besides the Arch about St. Louis? Well, they have burnt ends.
I heard John Taffer randomly say the other day that outside of New York, it's like the best bar city in the country. I never heard that.
Obviously, a lot of breweries out there, big time major distributor out there. So I get like it could be a good beer city. I don't know. I've never been to St. Louis, so that did sweeten the pot a little bit. But if they make it to the Sweet 16, it's in San Jose. That's right. The Miami Hurricanes, despite their brilliant season, if they make it all the way to Indianapolis, they don't play a single game in the Eastern Time Zone. No way. This is crazy. But yeah, I'm pumped for it. I love this tournament, and I think yesterday delivered. Is there a worse window than that little evening news window where there is like maybe one game going on?
Right.
And it cools you down.
It's like between 5:15 p.m. and 6:50 p.m. You got like nothing happening.
I hate that. Now, I love a lot of sports. I mean, as excited as I am for March Madness, today, the fifth major is going on, the Miami Open. There are 28 matches going on today because the weather has impacted it. So there's always something to take my attention. But I hate that little dip in the action just so they can squeeze in.
It's the cheerleader effect, right? Isn't that what they call it? The cheerleader squad effect or whatever vaguely misogynistic thing it is, that it's the collective that catches your eye. But if you focus in too much on any one specific individual, it's not as appealing. That's to me March Madness.
Yeah.
It's the wall of games.
It's like
right?
it's like the NFL when you have a standalone game that's bad and you're wishing, man, I wish there were like 7 of these going on right now, all coming to a crescendo at the exact same time. It is a wonderful TV event. It does get a lot better when you know what's going on and you know the players, or at least a player. Like if you know Mitchell, you already are smarter than 95% of the people out there.
My strategy is just watch the first half, watch these teams for the first time, and then really crush a second half bet. Yeah. Assess. The first half is for assessment. The second half, we cash in.
Well, you know what I do during March Madness? I'm big on the money line sprinkle because there's going to be upsets, right? So, and sometimes you can get big, juicy upsets. So what I do is I put standard 2 units because it's March Madness. We rise to the occasion. 2-unit bets on the spread. And then a little money line sprinkle on the teams that I think have a good shot at winning outright. And those cash. Yesterday, your boy was rolling in it.
I want to get to a new game that we have here today. A new segment, which is going to be hosted by Tony. Tony, what do you got for us here?
We've got a very exciting new game. We've got music for it. Let's hear it.
That's good music.
It's good music, right? So, all the old heads have always told me how great Michael Jordan is and how he did things that were incredible. Feats of athleticism, feats of strength, all these amazing feats. And yet, I see something every single night in the NBA that is more athletic than Michael Jordan in his prime. So that's the game. I'm going to bring you athletic feats, feats of strength, all feats of all kind that are better than Michael Jordan.
Foot girls.
Again, that was a great call by you. You had foot girls way before.
They didn't like it.
They didn't like it. They should have liked it. So if we
should have liked it.
If we can get the video ready for my
being
game.
told we don't have the video.
Okay.
Awesome. Good game.
Filled with awkward laughter.
Okay, so there was a play where Cade Cunningham caught the ball on the other side of the hoop, then brought it around, and then laid it up on the other side of the hoop. That was better than anything Michael Jordan did athletically. Dave Damashek, I'm sorry if you're a Michael Jordan honk, if you're going to argue with me about this or not. He didn't have to switch hands. Michael Jordan didn't have to go right to left. He didn't have to do that. He could have just gone left the entire time.
I just said half an hour ago that I've called it a career tie with LeBron. Most people my age would say, oh, Michael Jordan obviously is better than anybody.
You look a little like a Michael Jordan honk, though. I could see that.
I agree.
Well, listen, I was in Chicago for 5 of his 6 titles, and is that a coincidence? Probably, but I thought I would mention it just the same. The premise of this, though, is, it's sort of like, Tony, there would be no cheers if there weren't an I Love Lucy, and there wouldn't be It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia without cheers. So it's progressive. Michael Jordan showed the way, and then the next generation built on it.
Okay, Dave, here we got the video now. We'll throw it on the screen. So Cade Cunningham catches it on one hand with one hand and then switches hands underneath the basket. It's almost a Julius Erving, but he actually catches it on the alley-oop. Again, better than Michael Jordan.
No, Jordan's layup on the way down because he was switching hands on the way down.
Yeah, but he didn't need to switch hands on the way down. He could have just gone left.
I can't
caught that ball with one hand in midair.
That looked way more graceful. The difficulty on what Michael Jordan did with the upper body strength as all of his inertia is heading down.
You know about that inertia?
It's inertia. And to switch hands and bounce it off the top of the back, like the strength, the core strength that it takes to do that.
Agreed. Think about let's play the video one more time. He catches it with his right hand underneath the hoop, switches to his left hand underneath the hoop, and then finishes on the other side of the basket with English.
Super graceful, looks more aesthetically pleasing than what Michael did. I think the level of difficulty of what Michael did was greater.
Well, that's why it's my game. Better than Jordan. I know Dave Damashek likes the English comment. Do we know where the English comment comes from? Do people know what that means?
No, that's a great question. By the way, I just want to interject with this. The only evidence I need for Michael Jordan is the 63-point game in against the Celtics. Just watch that alone. I don't need to tap into
I agree. It was
the
a great
career
game.
highlights. Just watch that game and watch how he gets those points. Double, triple clutching. People forget. It becomes rhetorical when you make your case for Michael Jordan, and it becomes about clutch shots at the buzzer and all of that. Go back and watch that game. How he is getting those points in the paint. Double, triple clutching, changing shot angles and otherwise. You still, 30, 40 years after the fact, still haven't seen anybody
Dave,
replicate
the thing I remember
kind
from the 63-point game is him crossing between the legs 3 times in the corner on Larry Bird and then hitting a jumper. That's what I remember.
Okay, well, go watch the whole game, and you will.
Hey, you're a Michael Jordan honk. I knew it.
I am not. I just made a case for LeBron James. What are you talking about? I made a case a half an hour ago for the greatness of LeBron James.
You said it was a wash. You didn't talk about the greatness of LeBron James. You said it was a wash. You're impartial. You're sweet. You're Switzerland.
Grading on a curve.
Wrap this up because I want to introduce my new segment called AJ Do We or Don't He?
You remember when you would sign up for SI and they'd give you the Michael Jordan VHS? Those are great. That's how I know so much about Michael Jordan.
I don't remember that, actually. I was too young.
Targeted in this. I feel like I'm being attacked when I am advocating for the greatness of LeBron James.
You said it was a wash.
I mean, how about what greater
Take a
praise can I
stance.
give any human being than to say he is as great, his career at the end of it is as great as the greatest player in the history of people. It is now officially a tie in the book of Dave Damashek.
A tie.
Dave, you're the host of Football America. I want to switch gears here.
That's right.
There was something that caught my eye, and I want to talk to you about. And maybe we can chew on a couple, because I know you have a very interesting little hypothetical when it comes to the Miami Dolphins. But yesterday, I saw Mike Florio join Rich Eisen, and there's all this talk about the NFL adding an 18th game, right? And he pointed out that the Super Bowl coming up in Atlanta in 2 years does not have a set date. And how strange that is, because this close to it, people need to start blocking off hotels, book convention centers. And the reason that there isn't a set date for this Super Bowl in Atlanta is because with J.C. Tretter now representing the Players Union, and the NFL with all these broadcast rights being locked in, they're going to be really aggressive, and they want to get an additional regular season game done. Now, that's super interesting and worthy of debate, but Mike Florio added a very interesting twist to this. And the twist is, while they're adding an extra game, the caveat is players can only play 17 regular season games during a season. So you essentially tactically with your front office, your coaches, and your roster have to identify a game in which you would sit out stars from your top line superstars to the last man on the roster. What's the game that we're going to skip for you? I found that very interesting.
Even the quarterback?
Yes. Now, I have a theory as to how this might play out, but first, Dave, how did that land with you?
This is the first I've heard of it, to be honest.
And double bye is also a part of this proposal, like multiple buys in a season now as well.
So the man is imposing load management on the players. That is fascinating, and it really does. The thing that reveals is that clearly the man only cares about the revenue. I obviously we already know that, but really it lays bare the fact that it ain't about anything other than an extra game is going to make us more money. Because why else? How else would you justify? Yeah, well, play the backup QB. That's all right. People still watch.
So
that's basically what it comes down to.
Let's chew on the strategy of this, because you have this game in which you know that we're not going to be able to start Joe Burrow. Now, Joe Burrow might be injured, and that takes care of that. But let's say Joe Burrow is playing an entire healthy season. Do you waste your game that you don't play?
Right.
Yeah, your extra bye for Joe Burrow early at the start of the season? Do you anticipate he may be injured if he's coming into a game with a bit of a knock? Look, rather than risk you having further injury, we're going to hold you from this game. Or do you take the data from the last few seasons where we've had an extended regular season? We've had the 17 games, right? If you know what those games look like towards the end of the season, there's a lot of backups playing. Usually towards the end of the season in that sport, the cream starts to rise to the top.
No way, man. It would. I would be willing to bet you that at least 30 of the 32 head coaches sit there starting QB in week 1. They just treat it as an extended preseason. It has to be that way. That would be asinine if it came down to it a week 18 or what. I'm like, hey, your team has to win the game, and it's like, well, we never sat the starting quarterback, so now we have to.
Wouldn't you just do your weakest opponent like early in the season? Like, I kind of with you in theory, but if it's Chiefs Bills week one, I'm not sitting Mahomes against the Bills.
That's also bulletin board material, Chris. But I think that you have it in your holster to see like who's carrying a knock on them, and all right, we're usually where we wouldn't give you a day off, we're going to hold you back here. And then I'd wait till the very last week, because so many teams are out of it by then. You add an additional week, I think the good teams by then will even further separate themselves than when they are now. And I just hold it to the end of the season.
My worry is, that's a singular position, right? The quarterback, there's only one of them.
Right, but this happens for every position on the roster.
Right, so you're talking about a cornerback, and you need somebody in a specific coverage, but you're like, I'm not playing my nickel corner today, so we're not playing nickel at all. We're not playing dime. We're going to have 2 corners, and that's it.
Well, I imagine they'll expand the practice squad rosters too, and the players' union will take that as a victory because it's more jobs for more guys. But you also can't go into a game in which, hey, everybody's resting, because that's also unsustainable. You can't do that.
I think you then. I'm going to lean into what I said. I'm sorry, it's early for me, so this is overwhelming, the amount of information, and I think you have it mostly right, Mike. But I'll stand by what I said. Week 1 would be the week that I think almost every head coach would have to circle. You cannot let it go and see. The Baltimore Ravens, if I'm not mistaken, had the shortest or second shortest odds in the AFC to get to the Super Bowl last year. Imagine if John Harbaugh had waited to week 18 and had never sat Lamar Jackson, and now he does have to sit Lamar Jackson in a game that they have to win to go to the playoffs. He might lose his job over something like that. Oh, wait. But either way, it would be week 1. Everybody would do it because it's logical in the sense that you're extending preseason when your backup QB is getting a ton of reps already. So you would just say, let's keep that train moving for one more week, and then we flip the script in week 2 to our starting QB.
But what if I want to have a strategy of I'm going to sit my quarterback when I'm playing a team that's sitting their quarterback? Does the home team get to say last?
Yeah, I don't
available.
I don't know how disclosure works. I don't know if this can be saved up to game time. If they do this, I'd like it to be announced ahead of time so you can bake it into
like Friday.
the
you have to
tactics of the
say
game.
who's starting.
But here's why I disagree, and Zaz, I'd love your input here. Here's why I disagree with what Dave is saying about week 1. You mean to tell me if Lamar Jackson's playing 17 games, you're not already in the playoffs? Like that's a great problem to have, especially if you have a great quarterback. You save that baby. Because if my QB1 that I believe in is playing the entire season, and I have to wonder, oh man, we're getting close to the end of the season. What game am I going to reserve this 18th game pass that I have for this guy? You're already in the playoffs, and you probably wouldn't play him already.
I think it's interesting how Dave sees it as the NFL is just saying, yeah, we're doing it. Like the fact that guys can only play 17. Okay, there's going to be one game where the quarterback doesn't play, the star receiver, the star running back doesn't play. The NFL is clearly saying it doesn't matter the quality of the game. It's just about the money. I actually look at it the other way, where it's the NFL telling you what we're doing right here is clearly not safe. And so we're only going to allow players to play 17 games. Like, that's what the NFL, to me, is saying.
And part of the proposal is an additional bye. As the season gets longer, you have 2 bye weeks now as opposed to the 1, and the player only plays 17 games. So, yeah, there's a concession there. It does make the game safer. I think the Players Union's going to love being able to have more jobs for more guys, having an additional bye week during the season. I kind of like this, and I like the tactics of it. I like that. Look, we all have different opinions on this. Franchises are going to approach this a different way.
I just feel like obviously football is a war of attrition. At the end of the day, you only have so many guys that are available to play on a given time in week 16, 17, and 18. So it's like, all right, Myles Garrett is going for the sack record, but he's been fighting the sack record the entire time. He doesn't want to take a week off, and then all of a sudden it's like, sorry, buddy, you can't break the sack record. You got to sit this game. Oh, no, what are we going to do? My 9th defensive lineman, I need him to play instead of Myles Garrett.
As a side note, or a bit related, though, is I think we really do need to, as a sports following society and in the world of advanced analytics and all of that, we need to settle universally on going with players per game averages in all sports pretty much now, but especially in the NFL, because we're very casual about mentioning, hey, Saquon Barkley is the whatever player to hit 2,000 yards. Yeah, he did it in 17 games, not 16. And now when you expand to 18 games and one of those games he gets to take off, it's going to get real murky. So instead of trying to track modern players against guys from 1986 and everything else, the only way to even it up is to go by per game averages, right? For people who care about statistics, which should be most people who follow sports.
This is very controversial topic. So this week's episode of South Beach Sessions, all right, Dan has Diplo.
Big guy. You know about that Diplo?
Yeah, of course I know about Diplo.
That you're named after, like what is that all about?
I was really obsessed with paleontology as a kid. Like I was really into dinosaurs.
You were gonna be that, correct?
That was the thing. Then I in high school, I was like, that's not a real idea. That's too crazy. That's like not even a job.
No, let me be a DJ. That's not a job. What I'm going to do is be a DJ.
No, even weirder, I got my degree in anthropology. After the dinosaur thing didn't work out for me, I was like, I want to work for National Geographic. I want to travel and I want to take photos. I want to document things. I didn't care about money. I just wanted to be like, I just was obsessed with culture as an idea. I got all the way through school, graduated from Temple, and then I applied for film and anthropology school at FSU. I got accepted. I spent a year off. I worked in Italy. I worked at Colors magazine. They hired me there for somehow. I sent them an application, and they were like, "You're pretty weird." They flew me to Italy. I worked there, made some cool stuff for 90 Colors at Benetton. I got accepted to grad school, and I was like working. They were making music, trying stuff. Living by the skin of my teeth, like barely paying rent. My dad called me. He's like so excited. He was like, "You got into grad school. Like, I can't believe you did that." Like, he was like so surprised. Like, how the fuck did you get into grad school? And I was like, "Dad, I'm gonna be a DJ." And he was like, I think he hung up on me. And then it took him like another 5-10 years to really see me be a DJ. He's such a kind, nice guy.
I don't think you answered my dinosaur question.
Anyway, but that's the thing. Okay, so that was where it started. I loved the Diplodocus at a point in time. It was the biggest animal on the world, longest dinosaur. Blue whale's a little bigger than him. I was obsessed with like the size of this dinosaur. So there was this girl that gave me the nickname in high school, Diplodocus. She called me that, I don't know why. She had kind of like a funny face. She kind of looked like a giraffe. So I used to call her like that. She had like these lips that were like a giraffe when you eat like leaves and stuff. So she called me
a terrible
Diplodocus. Yeah, it was like a girlfriend kind of. We just I made fun of her a lot. And she gave me that name, and I was like doing little parties in Daytona and like Orlando, and that was like the artist name I picked. And then I got signed to Ninja Tune on that mixtape, and I changed my name to Diplo because it was no one could pronounce Diplodocus, and then that's been it. That was like 30 years ago.
So that's this week. Diplo sits down with Dan on South Beach Sessions. Last night, LeBron had a triple-double last night here against the Heat, but Luka had 60. And I found myself like...
He was cooking.
Yeah, he was incredible. And I think he was 18 of 30 from the floor. He was incredible.
He was.
And I found myself watching it and thinking, man, if this were like 10 years ago, I'd be saying this is an unbelievable performance, 60 points. And I feel like it's kind of greeted with a little bit of a shrug of the shoulders these days.
Yeah.
He scored 60.
A week and a half after Bam got 83.
Right,
that is part of it. Preconditioned to like 83 of like 60 is like, okay.
That's certainly part of it. But 60 points, Jeremy, 60 points, the most points ever scored by a Miami Heat opponent, right?
That's right. Yep. Really? He scored 60 points last night. The Heat have never given up more. This season, Jalen Brunson had scored 47. That was the most they'd given up. There are only 11 guys all time who have scored 50 or more against the Heat. And this list is pretty funny.
Are we counting playoffs too?
I believe these are all regular season games.
A lot of goated people on this list or what?
I believe. So there are...
Because Jordan had 56, Game 3, 1992.
Then no. These are all regular season games.
I need to know what the GOAT performance against the Heat is.
Are we going regular season? Because I can go through this list. Let's do it. Let's from the regular season. So I'll just go up from 11. There are 3 guys tied at 50. You have Michael Jordan. You have Carmelo Anthony. You have Trae Young. Then at 51, Alex English, Vince Carter, and LeBron James.
Dave Damashek, Alex English. There it is. That's why we put the English on the ball. Alex English.
Wow, mystery solved. Alex English put up 50-plus on the Miami Heat? Is that what you just said?
That is what it says right here in 1989, March 10th of 1989.
There's a real random one coming.
I didn't
There's a very random one coming. So, number 5 on this list, with 52 points in January of 2007, Jamal Crawford.
With the Knicks.
Bucket.
He used to kill us.
Absolute bucket. Heat killer.
Then December 30th of 2016, one Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, I remember that game.
Dropped 52 points as well.
Isaiah IT was
when
nice.
He was
IT
at
was
his
nice.
Oh, God, what a run for him.
That one year that he had with the Celtics, he was great.
It was crazy. This is the one that stands out. December of 1994.
Yeah, if you're a Heat fan, you know what he's about to say.
Yeah.
No, I didn't until I looked at this list.
You're younger.
From about 6 months before I was born, Willie Burton dropped 53 points on the Heat.
Yep.
That was
traumatic.
Philly.
That's our GOAT.
That was traumatic.
Because it was like the year after we traded him
Yes,
away.
he was a Heat player, and he stunk.
He was like number 6 overall pick by the Heat.
Yeah, he came out with promise. Heat fans were super excited for him.
Had a good rookie year.
And as Az would say, he was a nothing.
Wow. He was not good.
And then they trade him to Philadelphia for nothing. And he goes and plays the Miami Heat, I think in his first attempt, lights them up.
Yeah, 55
This would have been
points.
like Justice Winslow dropping 53 points on the Heat.
No, because Justice Winslow,
because he played here several years.
Winslow was better than Willie Burton with us.
Yeah, because Winslow was when Winslow
think
first
he could've been a
entered the
point
league, Winslow was a solid player, a starter for the Miami Heat.
Like Tyler Johnson?
Willie Burton. No one knows who I'm saying.
Yeah,
no one knows his
He
name.
was better.
Well, all right, so the 2 better scoring games, it was James Harden in 2019. He had 58 points, and then last night, Luka had 60. So what do we think is the GOAT amongst all of these? Because,
it's Willie Burton.
Yeah,
it does feel like it has to be Willie Burton.
I mean, I think Willie Burton's the president of worst players ever to score 50-plus points.
He was 12 of 19 from the field.
This GOAT conversation is presented by Frank's Red Hot. Make every dish the greatest. Eat the GOAT.
No, the Heat have played big games, and yes, there are certainly Hall of Famers on that list, but for Heat fans, it's always been random scrub Heat killers. That's always been the thing. I'll remember the Marcus Thornton game more than I'll remember the James Harden game. That's why Willie Burton is the one.
The Paul Millsap game, exactly.
Yes,
oh my God,
those are the ones that
Millsap game.
stick in your maw.
That was my first game ever on the Miami Heat radio broadcast, the Paul Millsap game. Really? Wow. Yep. It was very early in that 2010, 2011 season.
Wow.
I was really hungry, and I left that game early, and I watched the end of it from an ale house. Nice. And it was devastating.
You got a Mountain Milk?
I did. What else would you get?
My boy.
Dave, why do you believe that new Miami Dolphins quarterback Malik Willis should request a trade?
Well, I don't even know a request a trade. After what we just saw the Baltimore Ravens do to Max Crosby, just basically, I mean, they can say whatever they want. Obviously, they recognized, oh, wait, we overpaid, and we can just get Trey Hendrickson, so let's just undo what we've just done. Why isn't that available to the player, too? Malik Willis maybe signed a week and a half ago under different circumstances, or in fact did sign under different circumstances. I don't think it was perfectly clear to him. This is a total teardown that you're signing on for, Malik. Ergo, you're probably not in line to have a big season personally. I think Malik Willis would be wise, in fact, to say, hey, if the Ravens can do it, I'm doing it too. Undo this deal. I'm now a free agent once again. And by the way, if he did do that, would the Dolphins have so little dignity that they would say, we're holding you to your contract and we're making you play even if you don't want to be wearing our helmet anymore?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's ridiculous what you're saying, but let's play with it. If Malik Willis were to do that, you can't start your relationship with the player saying that he doesn't want to be here. You'd have to get rid of him.
But don't you think that really when it comes down to specific to Malik Willis, I'm making a larger point about trying to be the Kurt Flood of the generation and trying to take a stand at the player level against the man and all of that. But specific to this, do you think Malik Willis understood what he was signing on for with the Dolphins a week and a half ago?
Yes.
After the Jalen Waddle deal and otherwise?
Yes, because Malik Willis had offers. Malik Willis had options. The Dolphins had to sell Malik Willis on a vision. I don't think there was a bait and switch. Now, I could be wrong, but I don't think this caught him by surprise. I really don't. And while we all know what Malik Willis brings to the table is he can throw a deep ball, and the numbers suggest that Waddle is probably like the third best deep threat in the league. Like the advanced numbers love Jalen Waddle way more than Dolphin fans love Jalen Waddle. I get all that, but I don't think this caught him by surprise at all.
You know what didn't catch him by surprise? $45 million guaranteed in 67 on the contract. I don't know what Arizona was going to offer, but when you're a guy who's basically a journeyman in the NFL and you see 45 guaranteed, you're like, you know what? I kind of really don't care what happens the first year. I trust these guys. I've been in the building with them. They have a plan. And yeah, we may suck the first season, but after that, if they start putting pieces in place and getting other guys and drafting well, this could be a team that in the next 2 years, maybe I can get another contract for another 50 or 60 or 70.
Is that foolish of me, Dave, to expect that the Miami Dolphins probably floated their vision for the future to Malik Willis?
I'm not sure. But now it feels like for Malik Willis's sake, they need to use the first pick on a pass catcher. But for the team building overall, wouldn't you rather have somebody at the line of scrimmage? If you're the Dolphins and looking at needs, really what it comes all around to is that I don't know why they just didn't stick with Tua. And, I hear what Tony's saying, and in a vacuum, it makes some sense. But in the year-to-year league and the what have you done for me lately league, it's now set up for Malik Willis to not have a great season. So the assumption oh, yeah, he'll get him in 2027. There could be a lot of noise about Malik Willis sucks. He's even worse than Tua was and all that sort of rhetoric. And that does count in the real world. People deny, nobody cares what the fans think. Yeah, they do. When people stop showing up and nobody cares about the Dolphins and what an embarrassment they are, and Dan Le Batard and his crew are going on and on about what a shame and how irrelevant and what a bum collection this Dolphins team is, it does matter.
I hear you. I just don't think much changed about the Miami Dolphins prospects with the subtraction of Jalen Waddle. I went from a good situation to a bad one because a guy that limps off the field in the games that he's available multiple times a game is not here.
He couldn't have possibly signed here because he loves the idea of having the 1-2 punch with Jalen Waddle.
Yeah. And Dave, it's not like they didn't get anything for Waddle. They don't have to take a receiver with that first pick. get him like a Mauanoa type, and then with that late first-round draft pick, get him a receiver. I think that the combination of a new young receiver that he can get excited about, coupled with someone that can help protect him to help ensure that he can stay healthy throughout a season and play his best ball, might be more attractive than the Jalen Waddle that I saw. While I'm conceding, I'm a little surprised at how many people that I respect that cover football love this move for the Broncos. I didn't see it during his time down here.
Name some names.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Mina Kimes.
I think it's a terrific move, and I get the idea of overpay, but like I just said, year-to-year league, and what awaits you in 2027 is overstated. Everything changes every year, and the mirage presented to Malik Willis, if he signs off on like, yeah, we're setting this up for the future, Malik, we're going to be in great shape in about 18, 24 months. Just hang in there. In the meantime, is, that sell might work, except that he may play himself out of, because of what's put around him. Ironically, he may play himself out of being a viable starting option, and maybe the Dolphins a year from now are looking at, and the conversation is, boy, the Dolphins have a top 10 pick. They got to go get one of those high-end QBs, right?
Dave, I could tell you why the Dolphins decided not to keep Tua, because he's bad.
But if they want to be bad, then that's perfect, right? Isn't that, if the goal is to stink as much as possible, then stink. Then just keep Tua and draft a quarterback in 2027. What are we talking about? Why the nonsense with Malik Willis? Who is that for then?
Tony, one game outside of the Canes you're most looking forward to today in the tournament.
Ooh,
one game,
wow.
not the Canes, who are playing tonight at 9:10 p.m. What are you most looking forward to?
Give me, let's see. I'm looking at all the games here. I'm looking at all the
excuse
games. 10-10, yeah. Give me Texas Tech at Akron. Give me the Zips. I like the Zips making a little bit of a run.
Colin Cowherd.
Name one player in that game. Either team.
They have a Mitchell. They have to.